I'm Scotty D, and this is an old Alvarez CY-130 from 1977, and it's had a complete failure of the cedar top under the bridge. Check this out. Also, can you check this out before we look at the top? A pretty awesome headstock, huh? Very nice. So the owner of the guitar came in to do her practice the other day, and she's like, what the heck is going on here? And there's just this light colored rectangle on her guitar. Why? Oh my God. This cedar is up to a millimeter thick over here on this side. And it's 100% virgin wood to wood surfaces right here. So I'm not going to clean off any of this. I'm just going to apply the tight bond and put the two pieces of wood back together, and I've got these clamping cauls all set to go. It's going to be quick and easy, I think. It's not every day that I get a quick and easy repair into the shop. I usually get tortured with those mutilated headstocks and whatnot, but look how deep that trench is there on that front edge. Wow. But it indexes all together perfectly, 100% wood to wood. I've cleaned off a couple of the loose fibers. I'm going to get the glue going. I got my clamps all ready to go. Let's take a look at the back and sides on this guitar. Very nice wood they used, 77. It's got that thick poly finish. Nice contrast between the sap and heartwood, little streaks in the rosewood there. Nice inlays, nice binding, nice rosette. And let's look at that tag. CY-130, 1977. Made in Japan. Serial number 21182. So the first time I saw this guitar was 4 years ago. I had replaced these. These are the StewMac Economy slotted head classical tuners. They'd gotten to the point, I think the plastic pieces had broken and they weren't functioning too good. So, let's get the clamps going. I've got some nice feet taped down to the bottom of each part of my C-clamps for fitting in between the fan bracing of the cedar top. Now the top has fan bracing, so it has one right down the middle and then two off to each side of it. It also has that transverse brace that goes across the fan braces, which is great for clamping up to. That's why I've decided tight bond's perfect. I'm able to get some really good clamping pressure, and with 4 big clamps. Let me show you. Done this sort of dry run a couple times here. And it indexes in there just perfect. It doesn't slide back and forth at all because it's held together by the wood fibers. And that's how it fits. I'm going to get the glue in there and show you the clamps. Here's that extra footing that I've taped onto the bottom side of the C-clamp. Goes in right in between two of those fan braces. Then I've got this piece of oak with a piece of leather on it. Tighten that baby down. Maybe it'll go sideways. Here's the other one, a little additional foot taped down there. It goes between the fan braces. And get that in there. Got another piece of wood here. It equalizes and spreads out the clamping pressure. Also keeps the foot of the clamp from damaging or denting the rosewood. Now I got two more. So here's the nylon foot that comes with the StewMac C-clamps. I'm just going to use it on the bottom foot. And then what I've got is a piece of pretty dense foam here that's going to kind of contour around with this radiused shape of the bridge. Actually, I'm going to scoop off a little bit of that excess glue first because I think it's going to stick to the foam. Hold on a minute here. Just wiped up some squeeze out. I'm going to have some more squeeze out, that's for sure. So, there it is in between those two fan braces. Got my foam. Okay, this caul has a little radius to the bottom of it. And then we've got that foam that's going to contour and spread out equalize the pressure. Here we go. Yep, there it is, squeezing out. Perfect. Now I've got a little hockey puck cut, half a hockey puck here, a moon, half moon hockey puck shape. Hold that. One here on the other side. I don't think you guys can see this from that angle, but here it is anyways. You might be able to see some glue squeezing out here. Now I can tighten everything. I don't think I need crazy pressure because we've got that piece on the inside that's backing everything up. That transverse brace. Don't want the glue to go in those string holes, so I'm just being careful. Definitely got a little glue in that first string hole. I'm going to get a toothpick and get that out of there. Now we'll let this set for a bit and we'll come back with part 2, set it up and give it a listen. I'm going to try to show you how the clamps kind of look on the inside by, if you focus down on the mirror it's laying on the bottom of the guitar, you can kind of see how the feet are pressing up in between the fan brace. So as I'm going to let it sit overnight, I don't need to leave that light on. But the next day, I'll take the clamps off, clean it up. Now I'm trying to decide exactly what kind of rosewood this is. To me, it looks like Brazilian rosewood. And I'm going to stick the camera down inside the guitar. And you'll see that the grain pattern on the inside is different than the grain pattern on the outside. And that indicates that it's a 3-ply lamination. Sometimes the weight of the guitar can kind of give you a clue as to its construction. But, you know, seeing how they banned the export of the green logs out of Brazil in the mid to late 60s, and this is a 77, I think it's quite possible that the Japanese builders sliced or peeled those logs into veneers so they could stretch out the Brazilian rosewood, you know, as a decorative looking wood to use on the guitars. Instead of making it out of solid, if they made it out of veneers and laminated wood, they could, you know, quadruple their profits. So that's what I would have done if I was building guitars back then. I'd buy a container load of those logs and peel them or slice them. And Japan has been peeling and slicing veneers for many, many decades. They're very capable. So we'll get her cleaned up. If it's not Brazilian rosewood, it's either a Bolivian rosewood with Pau Ferro or Cocobolo. But if you look up on the sides, you'll see there's a streak of sapwood at the top and more of a heartwood on the bottom. When we look at the outside of the guitar, you'll see it's very different than that. It's almost like the sapwood pieces are on the bottom. So we got a lot of tone balls down here. There's our back braces. There's a tone ball. There's some handwritten chalk notes, some numberings. But that side and that little part of the lower waist or the lower hip of the guitar, we'll pull the camera out and we'll look from the other side and you'll see that it's a plywood construction. So Brazilian rosewood by the early 90s was placed on CITES, and that really restricted the sale, the trade of veneers, logs. Here you can see that sap is not towards the top like it was on the inside. It's very plain sawn looking. It was more rotary looking on the inside. Well, it's more quarter sawn looking on the outside, maybe more plain sawn or flat sawn on the inside. String wise, we're going with normal tension, XT silver plated copper. My favorite. Favorite D'Addario classical strings. Now I'm going to try to tie them on in a way where the trebles, the little tail ends of them, move towards the center of the bridge, and the basses, the bass tails, kind of move their way towards the center as well. And this way we won't have to use any cutters if we don't want to. It'll look tidy and we'll leave the full length of the string the same way. And the reason for this is because if you get in there cutting the strings, you may hit the top, which is what I'm seeing here, like behind the bridge. It looks like someone's damaged it in the past with their little cutters. Or perhaps they tried stringing this up with the ball end strings at some point, and when they pulled them through,
A lot of times, if you pull it through the hole too fast, the ball can kind of ricochet up and down on the soundboard and damage the finish and the wood behind the bridge, which is kind of what that looks like. So we're going to try to get the tail to move towards the middle when it comes out the end. But wait a minute. This string had a tag on it that I thought said G. It actually said 6, which means this is the low E string. Duh. Let's get that in the 6th string hole. I'll go under and over and then try to get that tail to move towards center. There's a way where you can do it where the next string grabs the tail and holds it tight to the bridge, which I'm not going to do, but it's another tidy little way to do it, where you can leave like an extra inch of the string behind the bridge and it's all kind of bundled up nice. Right there, you could have put that E string inside of this little loop and it would have pulled it nice and tight, but I'll just leave this one. So let me know what your vote is. We'll look at the wood again. Is it Brazilian rosewood, Bolivian Pau Ferro rosewood, or Cocobolo? I'm voting Brazilian. So same kind of concept up here at the headstock. You can use the full length of the string. Pull it through and then just give it like 4 wraps. Once you've wrapped it 3 or 4 times, hold it tight. Now start winding it up. I'll show the next one too. Come back up through backside. Twist, twist, twist. One more twist. Hold it tight and start to wind. It'll get all bundled up and it won't come loose at all. You won't have to cut it. Just leave the whole length on there. That way when they're done stretching, they're done stretching. Stay in tune. Yeah, I really like that headstock. It's got kind of like a little goat. Little horns on it. Looks like a baby goat. I love baby goats. Okay, let's just do one more thing and then we'll give her a listen. We'll carefully lift these off the soundboard and give them a snip. But we could just leave them.
Did you ever notice on a classical guitar, you keep having to tune the treble strings up for like a year before they just stay in tune finally? But once they're in tune, they sound nice. Appreciate you guys sticking around to the end and all of the love and kindness that you've been giving me in those comments. playing.